Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. But first, can I say, fuck, it's cold. This is why I need an elliptical, folks. This is why I need an elliptical. Holy mother of God. Yes, I run the stairs. I do so about over 60 times every single day because I'm crazy. And because I'm crazy, in spite of the fact that it's being cold, I'm going to do it anyway because I don't have an elliptical. Pray for a miracle. Mama needs an elliptical and an Instapot for Christmas. And they're not even that expensive anymore. I'm just broke. It's cold. Or at least for me to get the hell out of Missouri. That would be good. Send help. Alright, folks. Usual disclaimers, but first, oh my God. This is why I hate stan culture with every fiber of my damn being. Unless it's over on disability Twitter. Going down the rabbit hole of people obsessed with celebrities is some of the most disturbing shit I come across. And folks, I report on JRC and Agape. I talk about deranged individuals who like to experiment and torture people like me and people like JD, Jennifer Masumba, Andre McCollins, ad nauseum. But fuck balls. What is wrong with these people? It just gets more shocking and mind-boggling every time this shit pops up on my TL. Quit obsessing about these people. Start getting invested in your own lives. I mean, granted, I don't have much of a fucking life, let's face it. I'm a call center jockey these days. And yeah, going out, speaking when I do, can be draining as hell. I get my once every few months going to Silver Dollar City. I don't have much of a life. Let's face it. I can face facts. But, God, at least I got some damn hobbies. I don't invest myself in strangers' personal lives, nor do those personal lives affect my life in any way, shape, or form. Get help. Stop. Focus on developing your own lives. Get hobbies. Take up a cause with meaning to you. I mean, that's why I started the whole JD thing, got involved with the case in the first place, because it's just a smaller part of what I already do every day. I don't expect anything out of it other than it is its own reward. And somebody has to. We've been called monsters, unfeeling, and all kinds of lies and slanders for years, especially every goddamn April. I defend just as much Andre McCollins and Jennifer Masumba. People, get your shit together. Go hang out with family. And I know this is rich coming from an autistic who tends to be isolated a good majority of the time, but in my defense, my best friend lives in another state and is in the Army. Make friends. Do things out there in the real world, and remember, social media is not real life. Go out there and live. If I'm an autistic, and I'm telling you, you need to go out there and live, you really need to think about that. If I'm getting more social interaction and I'm more involved with the outside world outside of social media than you, who's supposedly a normal neurotypical, you need to start thinking about some of your life choices. Right? Mother of God, take up crocheting, go for a walk. I love photography, especially during this time of the year when it's fall. I go out and I take pictures. I go hiking. I go to Silver Dollar City, which is out close by the Ozark Mountains. I draw. I crochet. I fight against the JRC and Agape. For the love of God, as busy as I am, I still make the time for these things. Stop with this insanity. Maybe if you take your head out of social media and quit obsessing about these people, you can start finding meaning in your own life. Okay? Sorry. It bugs me, folks. It really does. I, as an autistic, should not be preaching to the neurotypical world how to get their heads out of their phones and their computers, quit playing on Twitter, quit obsessing about celebrities, and go out there and live. But here we are. Here we are. All right, folks. In the description box, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to their so-called behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused to comply. So you know the drill, folks. Read that article and share on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC has the balls to see through with their threat. We also have linked in there the crowdfund, blah, 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 blah. The GoFundMe for the legal case that is being threatened against NeuroClastic. They are small non-for-profit, folks. They only bring in $10,000 a year. Okay? So please donate, share on your social media, all right? We want to show these bastards what we can do. Okay? We also have the pertinent links to the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that has, and pending, over 21 substantiated claims, allegations, and civil lawsuits leveled against it, substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, that takes in so-called troubled male teens. And these allegations, claims, and civil lawsuits all include claims of sodomy, rape and sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, and starvation. And we're just scratching the surface here. We've got one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's still on the premises with full access to the boys, up on multiple, substantiated, again by the Missouri Department of Social Services, claims of sodomy, sexual assault, and rape of the students there. We've got a former attorney general who basically used his office as a stepping stone and just simply kicked the can down the road when it came to Agape and failed miserably all over the damn place so he could get his cushy Senate seat in Washington. My only hope, and I doubt it comes true, but my only hope is I hope Washington eats his damn lunch. And by accident or fluke, we'll get an attorney general that will know how to do their damn job. We got a governor who now has full access and control of the fucking National Guard. Get me out of here. If there were any wish I had right now, it would be that. It would be that. Help me for the love of God. Prayers, positive vibes, whatever you got, send out. Maybe it's just my paranoid nature, but no governor should have that level of power. Period. So, folks, please go to those links, share them on all your social media. Don't forget to sign and share the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. We got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumpa's behavioral sheet. Remember, they like to say, only with severe behaviors will we shock them. Read that sheet, because that will show you that that is a lie. All right? We also got the clip that's a part of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, where due to the high crime of refusing to remove his coat, he was shocked, and then when his muscles tensed as one does when one's electrocuted, was slammed on a 4-point board, face down with a helmet on, and shocked over 31 times over a 7-hour period. We also have in there the templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects. If your child is 16 and under, parental supervision is advised. Trigger warning. We are about to descend into the nonsensical ravings of the lunatic mind that is Matthew Israel. Yes, I finally got the quote right. I looked it up yesterday. I do love that one. Thank you, Gene Wilder. I'm a stan of Gene Wilder. And Groucho Marx. Don't get me started on Groucho. I will go all day. All right. Okay, it is 5:30 a.m. in the morning. I am not even close to being awake, folks. So if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, all right? Okay, let's get to it. Sinus medicine is not the best tasting tea in the world. Things I do, huh? JRC students have engaged in severe self-abusive behaviors as continually ruminating and projectile vomiting in the point of nearly starving to death, manually pulling out one's own teeth, scratching oneself so persistently as to be at risk for death through a blood-bone infection, violently attacking one's parents and teachers, eye-poking and head-banging with such force as to detach one's retinas, and headbanging so violent as to cause oneself to have a stroke. So this is Matthew Israel doing what he always does. These are scare tactics, folks. These are scare tactics. They like to bring up the most extreme examples so that you will then be permissive towards whatever they want to do with us, and just nod along and say, but it's treatment so that it's for their own good. The majority of the students at the Judge Rotenberg Center do not engage in any of these behaviors. Matter of fact, they were more likely to be like mine when I was younger. Mostly usually done during meltdown, which I can tell you as an autistic pushing into my 40s now, there's not a goddamn thing you can do about. You can bring the meltdowns down to a minimum, which is what's happened in my life. But they're still going to happen. There is no cure or treatment out there that is going to eliminate meltdowns completely. That is fantasy land. That is the bullshit fantasy la la land bullshit people like Dr. Israel like to sell to you. It's never going to happen. All that ABA does is just teach you to bury shit until it explodes. That's why meltdowns can get so violent and come to the extremes that he's talking about here. When you are forced to push down and push down and push down and push down all the trauma, all the suffering, and just swallow bigotry every single day of your life and force a mask on your face, force yourself to smile, force yourself to not complain, to always obey, to always just let people take. Eventually, you can only bury shit for so long. Take it from me. I have that tendency within myself to bury shit. Never tell anyone anything, wear a smile on my face, never say shit. A good majority of us do. Until we can't hold it down no more and it explodes. And when it explodes, folks, it's, yeah, you see where I'm going here, right? The longer we hold all that shit in, due to being conditioned to mask and to hold it down, to make neurotypicals feel more comfortable, to never talk about the stress, the exhaustion, the loneliness, and the isolation of forcing ourselves to mask every day and what that causes. Pushing down trauma, especially since so many of us are victims of DV, of child abuse, some of us even sexual abuse. I hit the trifecta on that one, by the way. And you are trained to push down. Don't react. Don't give in. Don't show anyone you're upset. Wear a fake mask. Pretend to be neurotypical. Don't even self-soothe. Of course it's going to explode. Of course it's going to explode violently. Of course, during meltdown, we're probably going to engage into some risky self-injurious behaviors. That's not due to our diagnosis, nor should we be punished with torture for that. What should happen is neurotypical society needs to start fucking looking at itself. Why in the name of God are we so inclusive and diversive, but we don't get to be a part of that? We have to pretend to be neurotypical in order to participate with everyone. You all refuse, by and large, as a larger society out there, to allow us to be accepted on our own grounds. You refuse to accept us as individual, unique, autistic human beings. So, because we are different from you, you will force us to conform to your romanticized idea of normal that even you don't conform to. And you don't even realize what you're doing, and then you act shocked when we explode. You act shocked when we have meltdowns, where we cause ourselves self-injurious behavior. You call it problems, and then you multiply the problems by sending us to places like this, and Agape, and Pomvo. If you look at the problems, that is forcing us to just push this trauma, this bigotry, this emotional and psychologically damaging shit down our throats, and then refuse to allow us to react, to self-soothe, for God's sake. By the time the self-injurious behaviors begin, you're already past the point of, well, not past the point of hell. You know where I'm going with this, right? Things need to be dealt with in our society in general, where people who are autistic can be accepted on our own grounds and quit with the fucking bullshit. Because apparently, some of y'all, not all of y'all, but some of y'all piss me the fuck off. But, no, I will not accept your deficit. Fuck you. Fuck you. So you would rather me internalize all that trauma, all that self-loathing and self-hatred because you all refuse to accept me on my own damn terms. I'm just supposed to eat it and take it and say nothing and pretend to be like you. All because you think my deficit is there and that I don't want to heal. Fuck you. There's nothing wrong with me. Okay? Me as I am, as an autistic human being. Long ago, I stopped, to a point, allowing people to push me around like that. Because all it causes is severe clinical depression, and that's just for starters. Me wanting to be accepted on my own terms is not me refusing to heal. It's me refusing to meet your ridiculous standards in order for me to be accepted. I am what I am. I should not be forced to pretend to be something that I'm not. Okay? That's ridiculous. This is where behaviors like this come out. And it's not just for us autistics either. It's for disabilities and mental health issues across the board. Where you all insist the initial diagnosis is the problem. You're not understanding nor are willing to accept the role that you as a society play in it. Because you do. You really do. It used to get me so angry, God, when I was in my 20s. Where the rest of society continuously refuses to meet us halfway. Where you all act like it's such a damn burden to make reasonable accommodations. And I'm not just talking about autistics here. I'm talking how people will think it's just such a damn inconvenience to move out of the way of someone in a wheelchair on a walkway that was built for someone in a wheelchair. Where you think it's okay to lean against someone's wheelchair when you're in an elevator. Now, every once in a while, circumstances, we understand that. But to feel entitled to do that when there is plenty of space for you to stand around in. You all act like we are just some horrendous burdens that you heroically dealing with. Sit the fuck down. Sit all the way down. We're tired. We have to put in all the effort. We have to suppress who we really are. We have to bury the trauma that you all put us through with your ridiculous treatments. And we have to internalize it and bury it, and we're never allowed to explode, never allowed to express outrage, never allowed to express just how generally unfucking fair and ridiculous it all is. And you wonder why these things happen. It's not hard if you fucking think about it for 2 seconds. Now let's talk about the things that come on top of that does come from the diagnosis. That granted causes its own issues. We're talking the straw that breaks the camel's back. So you are internalizing all this shit. Exhaustingly wearing a mask day after day to get by. And then on top of this, you've got hypersensory. Drills, people screaming, people starting fights, people nitpicking every single negative thing about you that they can find. Because yeah, I've had that in my life, folks. Some areas I still do. It's not that hard when you think about it, is it? No, it's not. So next time Dr. Israel brings up the bullshit, but their behaviors are so bizarre, so out of control, and nobody can help them. It's time to start maybe thinking about your role in it all. Okay? It is not my fault, nor should I be punished or tortured for acting within my own neurology in a way it compels me to do when I am overwhelmed and snap. We should be looking into the reasons for those snaps. And how might we, as a society, change in a way where an autistic doesn't feel like they should have to pretend to be someone else? Never speak out, never complain, never mention our internal psychological struggles. Just continue to bury everything. We need to think as a society how we look at not just autistics, but people with ADHD, CP, Down syndrome, Angelman, paralysis, cerebral palsy, all of it. And grow the fuck up. See, you are not actually inclusive at all. You're not actually diverse at all, because the largest minority out there, bar none, is people with disabilities. Bar none. It is a minority that, through some fluke of nature, you can join at any time. Okay? Yet somehow, we're still not allowed a seat at the table. Where is our inclusion? Where is allowing us to be a part of this conversation, to have true diversity? Where is society willing to meet us halfway? Where is our encouragement to go out and be our best autistic, authentic selves? It doesn't exist except inside our own communities. No, I'm not talking our home communities. I'm talking within us, the autistic communities, the ADHD community, the disability community as a whole, the CP, the Down syndrome, these subculture communities we've been forced to create just to be able to lean on each other to be able to survive. All right? Until society takes a long, hard look in the goddamn mirror and realizes how they treat the most vulnerable of us and how they continue to shut us out, there will never be real inclusion and diversity. And places like this will use it. Use our explosions because of the trauma. Because we're not allowed to be our authentic selves out in the open without everyone going on the attack. And I'm sorry, this is not paranoid dribble. I am not someone who loves to live in victim mentality. This is from pure observation. Okay? I have never seen a push from anyone outside the disability community about some general fucking positivity. Okay? And no, I'm not talking about inspiration porn. That shit is condescending as fuck. It's backhanded compliments like you got in high school. I'm talking real positivity. Real encouragement for us to live our best disabled lives and be our best disabled selves, not forcing us to be something else. And I'm going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. Oh, no, I'm going to actually hold off on that for a second. Let's talk about loneliness for a minute. I'm sure there are very many neurotypicals who are lonely out there. That loneliness comes from that isolation, by the way. That loneliness does come being forced to pretend to be something else all the time. And the few things that we have to combat it is our communities that we have online. Granted, we can't live in them. These aren't people we can meet out on the street. Most of us have lives outside of Twitter and Facebook. Hence the isolation. Hence the absolute loneliness. And by the way, in small towns, especially out here in Missouri, it becomes damn near fucking impossible to find someone that understands your particular struggle. Especially when you hit my age. Because the majority of us and my generation has just learned to bury shit and pretend for too long. So let's start fixing this shit. Let's quit making us have to do everything and pretend to be something we're not. And you all who want to push inclusion and diversity need to stop forcing us to be something else. And quit looking at us as fucking burdens. Sit your privileged little ass the fuck down and shut the hell up. Because you don't live our lives, you have no idea how good you have it. You can move aside for 2 seconds for someone in a wheelchair to use a ramp that was built for them, not for you. You can take the 1 second it takes to get up out of your seat so the person with a wheelchair can be able to get onto the bus. And yes, I've seen it on the buses, folks. Now I'll close out. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. I'm sorry for the rant, folks. You have a good day.